You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Well, guys, let's talk about the Supreme Court ruling when it came to transgenders being banned from female sports. Now, what the Supreme Court actually ruled on was that state bans in place, they can stay. Now, what if you are a state that actually allows transgenders to participate in female sports? You're probably thinking, all right, the Supreme Court said we can actually go ahead and keep females and not females, but males and women's sports. Not necessarily the case, guys, because remember, President Trump signed that executive order, and he said there will be no males in female sports. Now, we know that these blue states, they're pretty much not abiding by that at all, because these blue states don't have common sense. These Democrats have lost their minds. Now, we've seen in the state of California, multiple transgender athletes, guys, have gotten major headlines. A.B. Hernandez just won another, state title out there in California. And we know that California is in huge trouble with the Trump administration. Now, in a case like UPenn went back and removed the records of Will Thomas when he actually stole an NCAA title. Yeah. So the Trump administration is still trying to fight these states and punish them. I really do wish they would actually arrest some of these people, because we know that these blue states, they're not going to comply with Title IX. They're just not going to do it. Now, since the Supreme Court came and said, yes, state bans can actually stay in place, what does that mean for the NCAA? Let's just say that California, and we know that California allows males to participate in female sports. Transgender athletes in California may be celebrating, thinking, all right, we can actually participate at the collegiate level. Slow your roll. Slow your roll. Because the NCAA president has some devastating news for the trans mafia. It's not going to happen. I'm going to repeat that again. It's not going to happen. The NCAA is following the Trump executive order. Remember, they actually tweaked their rules. No males in female sports. Just that simple. So let's go ahead and dive into this, guys. Here we go. So right over here on Outkick, NCAA President Charlie Baker reacts to Supreme Court ruling on transgender athletes. NCAA President Charlie Baker said Sunday he doesn't think the organization's policy on transgender athlete participation will be changed after the Supreme Court's decision. The Supreme Court ruled 6-3 in favor of West Virginia and Idaho on Tuesday against trans athletes who sued to gain access to girls' sports. In the highly anticipated rulings in West Virginia versus BPJ and Little versus Hecox, the High Court upheld state laws requiring student athletes to compete on sports teams that correspond with their biological sex at birth rather than their gender identity. Baker appeared on CBS Face the Nation and was asked whether the NCAA would have to tweak his policy. See, I'm thinking that CBS is trying to say, all right, are you actually going to tweak your policy for states that allow transgenders in female sports? This is what he said. Quote, I don't think so. I mean, generally speaking, we try to establish policies from most of our programs that can hopefully have a national standard to it, Baker said. I've said to folks, Democrats and Republicans in Washington, after I got this job, that we needed some sort of clarity around on what the national standard for this would be, and we adapted and complied with the standard that was put forth by the Trump administration. I think what happens at the state level is a different question. Although I do think our national standard is going to be what we expect our schools to use with respect to eligibility issues for college sports. Yeah. So if you are a transgender athlete, what he's saying is, if you're in California, for example, in high school, and you're a male identifying as a female and doing track and field in high school, once you get to the NCAA level, you're not playing in female sports. That's what he's saying, because that would actually go against their rules. Remember he said, guys, they changed their rules to the standard that President Trump laid out. Look here. The NCAA changed its gender eligibility policy in February 2025 after President Donald Trump signed No Men and Women's Sports Executive Order. The new policy, which reversed a previous policy that had been in place since 2010, allowing transgender athletes in women's sports, now states, quote, a student athlete assigned, well, I don't like that word, born male at birth may practice on an NCAA women's team and receive all other benefits applicable to student athletes. Many critics have insisted this policy does not go far enough or establish clear enough barriers to protect women's sports, women's athletics in college ranks. The most common criticism has been that the policy allegedly allows trans athletes to bypass the restriction on changing the gender on their birth certificate. Yeah, that could be a loophole, because we know that some states actually do that. But so far, I don't know if that's actually happened yet on the NCAA level. That's probably something that the NCAA actually needs to look into. However, that rules are saying, nah, we're with Trump on this one. If you are a male, you're going to play in male sports. And if you're a female, you're going to play in female sports. Just that simple. Look at this. In the U.S., 44 states do allow birth certificates to be altered to change a person's birth sets. That's crazy right there. The only states that do not allow this are Florida, Texas, Kansas, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and Montana. All red states. Meanwhile, there are 14 states that allow sets on a birth certificate to be changed without any medical documentation required, including California, New York, Massachusetts, and Michigan. Pretty much all blue states. Michigan, kind of purple. Yeah, that's crazy right there, though, man. But Charlie Baker overall is saying, nah, we're not changing nothing. You males, if you guys want to play, you're going to have to play with the men. It's just that simple. We're not changing any rules. And they shouldn't. Because if they do, I believe the NCAA is going to have a huge problem then with the Trump administration. Still, I would like to see arrests made in these states like Maine, Oregon, Washington, California, because they're just not complying. They don't care. So arrests must be made. But the NCAA said, nah, we ain't changing nothing. So that's bad news right there for the trans mafia, man. I guess they'll have to try to go through the loophole of changing that birth certificate right there. But that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you next time. Well, Black and White Nation, it is that time. The 4th of July sale is here. 20% off everything in the merch store, including our new America 250 second edition. Has America 250 on the front with the flag on the back. We also have our America 250 George Washington edition with the America 250 logo on the back, George Washington on the front. We have our Freedom shirt. We have all the merch you guys want. Patriotic gear. Our best-selling shirt is our Bald Eagle edition America 250 shirt. We have sports gear. We have hats. We have bat pats as well. Get your merch today, guys. 20% off. If you are a paying member to the website, you get 25% off. And by the way, You can become a member and support us just for $10 a month. You can also save money by getting the annual plan. If you would like to donate to us, you can do it directly on the website. $5, $10, $20, whatever you guys want to give. We do appreciate the support.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.